Plonkcast.
Oh, that's my bit. That's
Sorry,
normally
but
what I start.
like to say turns.
Welcome back to
I get jealous.
Plonkcast. I am getting jealous. So, do you want to introduce today's guest?
Do you know what? Actually, yeah, right. We have a wonderful guest. In actual fact, one of my closest friends, I would like to say. But
She's one of my closest
most
friends
importantly, Billie's cousin is Emma.
Hello, Emma.
Welcome, Emma, to the Plonkcast.
Hello.
We normally start it off with a little plonk.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna,
today we haven't got alcohol because it is 12:30. Of course, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but we are going out later, so we thought we would cheers with our coffee
Can
and
I
our
have
water.
a water?
plonk.
Lovely, beautiful.
Nice.
So
I think that still sounded quite nice.
yeah, it's a bit more classy, I think. But obviously, if you have a beer, then please drink for us because we'll be drinking later anyway. So it's all good.
We will.
Cool. So we've been wanting to get you on a podcast for ages, which has
Long
been
time
and
now,
you're finally here.
Yep.
So first of all, we've had a bit of a crazy week. Anyway, I've seen you quite a lot this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Halloween season, baby.
Which is like my favourite type of season. We're all in our Halloween jumpers.
Yep.
I love
literally
it.
bought
I
them
love
for
your one though.
I
What
know,
does it
well,
say? I'm having the time
Yeah.
of my life.
While he gets into a coffin.
It's beautiful. It's good. So right, this week we went to Fort Park.
Yep.
And we didn't do any of the scare mazes. Can I just
No,
say
I know.
it's Halloween?
I was actually gutted because we got there and I was like, right, guys, everyone, we need to like book a scare maze because I tried to see if we could do it on the day or whatever because we still hadn't done it. And I was like, Billie, we have to do it. And then everyone was like, yeah, let's just get in. And then the day like had passed and by that point,
And we tried to get fast track as well, and it was like £140
for one
for
person.
one joke.
So
Absolute
it's
joke.
mad.
No, it's crazy.
No.
I'm just gonna try and sort out my chair because I know you guys are sitting there going, what the fuck is that noise? But basically, this chair is really squeaky, and I've got a blanket underneath it. Well, I need to sort it. I'm sorry.
Sort it out.
Make it cut.
Do you know what? I'm surprised though that you've been able to like actually.
De-squeak it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
De-squeak it. Because that chair is so
It
annoying.
is.
Okay, here we go.
But I tell you what, Fort Park though, I'm a bit gutted that I don't do roller coasters, okay? But I'm loving like, what is it, Nemesis, Swarm. I love that, right?
Yep.
And then these guys are like, right, we need to get you on Saw. And I am terrified, but I've hyped myself for it. I was like, okay, I'm actually going to do it. And now you can tell, like, because my voice has gone, I've just realised.
You scream for no reason. You've been on like one ride. Yeah.
I have a really bad throat at the moment.
Well, and we're going pumpkin picking today, which is gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
I've never
So
been.
excited.
Have you been?
I've never been
Have you
either.
been?
Never.
Oh my god,
But
we're
it's
virgins.
I've always been jealous. Every year it looks so cute. Like people would
I
go
know.
in.
I'm gonna make a vlog, by the way, so check that out on my channel.
Banging.
Billie Fox.
I'm expecting one of you to take a really good Insta picture for me.
Well, I think all of us are gonna like
Yeah,
have, like,
I'm gonna bring the old DSLR, so hopefully we'll make a nice little
have
picture
really
as well.
nice pictures.
Anyway, so let's move on a little bit. I think we should just dive straight into this.
Yeah, great.
So
let's
we've
go.
brought Emma on the podcast, one because she's amazing and you'd be in the podcast anyway, but Emma has such an incredible story to share with us, and so hang on, let me introduce this some way because it's a really exciting time in your life. You're having the time of your life.
I am.
Not just yet though, but in 2 weeks,
Less than 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
It's
under
less than
2 weeks. Emma is actually going to be having a kidney transplant. Fingers crossed.
I actually got goosebumps.
yeah,
Yeah, then
so
honestly, I know
it's-
how much
this
it
is-
means to you.
This is like the closest we've got to it, right?
Yeah.
So So I think we should just dive into it and talk about it. So
Yeah.
Emma, what the fuck is kidney disease?
All right. Kidney disease happens when oh god. Okay, cut this bit out. I knew I'd do
No,
this.
don't worry about it.
I
Don't worry
knew
about
I'd
it.
do
No,
this.
all those.
Oh, okay.
This is a podcast.
When did it start? Like, what happened? What?
All right. Okay.
Yeah. When did it?
So let me take you back 10 years.
Because I actually don't know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 16. I was doing performing arts in college. It was nearing the end of the year. We just, I started feeling ill on the day we were doing our final performance in the theatre.
Oh God.
felt-
the final one.
I felt
Oh.
rubbish. We'd been planning for this all year. I managed to do it. but yeah, so for like a week after that, I couldn't keep any food down. I was sleeping like constantly. My vision was going funny.
Vision?
Yeah, like I couldn't see properly or anything.
Wow.
So I knew something was wrong. So I went to the doctors on the Friday. They didn't really do that much, but they wanted me to go and get blood tests. But it was Friday, so I had to wait until Monday. So I was getting progressively worse. Literally couldn't keep a thing down. Water, like anything.
Just stopping you there. I remember when you, before even all of it had properly kicked off, you were always ill.
Yeah.
Like even before then.
Yeah.
Like I remember we actually went to Fort Park one day with my ex boyfriend. Every time I go on this podcast, it was ex. And I remember you were unwell during
Easter.
that time.
That was the Easter before.
Right. Okay. So it's just a progressive thing then.
Yeah. So that was Easter, and then this all happened like May, June. So not that long after.
Mm-hmm.
See, just to say, I thought this was something that like you were like really, really young. Like,
No.
Actually, like 16.
Yeah. Like absolutely healthy.
In college,
fine, and then,
doing your thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I had to wait until the Monday. I was getting progressively worse. So I finally went to get blood test done on the Monday. Important fact, I'd never been ill before. I'd never had a blood test before. Like nothing had ever been wrong with me, like seriously wrong with me. So I remember that day being so proud of myself that I had a blood test and I was okay with it. Little did I know
The
what was to
results.
come. So literally later on that day, we get a phone call from...
Oh, so you're not in the hospital anymore? Like
No, I just went for the blood test
Gotcha.
and came home. And then got a phone call from my GP saying that my potassium was very high. And so he rushed over to my house along with 2 first response teams and 2 ambulances.
See, that's terrifying.
Do you have any idea what they could have,
No,
what potassium meant?
No.
So that you've just had the call to say it's really high, and then all of a sudden you've got all
They
these
all turned up at my
ambulances.
house. I remember I phoned my dad screaming, crying on the phone.
Yeah,
What's
the
wrong
panic
with me?
hits
What's
in,
wrong?
right?
Well, I had no idea what was wrong with
Well,
me.
the only thing I know potassium by is potatoes, right?
And bananas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you think, oh, what, have I eaten too many bananas? Have I eaten too many potatoes? Like, it must have been so scary because you're just like, what the fuck?
I was. And then, so everyone was in my house. I was having like my blood pressure done, you know, as they do. They're checking all of my things. And then I was panicking. My GP then turned to me and said, you need to calm down or you're going to have a heart attack.
Fucking hell!
What levels would cause a heart attack?
Oh,
like the
I was
potassium?
poisoned.
Right, okay.
Because the thing is,
Oh my god.
so your kidneys filter out all of so potassium's good for you, but your kidney filters the rest of it
it takes
out.
all the shit out, doesn't
Yes, yeah, your kidneys are basically processors. They take all the bad things and then you wash it out in your urine. My kidneys weren't working, so all of the poison, like potassium and other things, they were just building up in my body for God knows how long.
Yeah.
So I could have had a heart attack. But the way he said it,
Yeah,
it
I was
like,
going to say, that would make me have a heart
Yeah.
attack.
That's crazy.
If someone said, you need to just calm down,
Yeah.
or you're going to have a heart attack, I'd be like, a heart attack?
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly that.
But it's scary, like, just knowing that your health, 1 minute you're fine, and you think, you're doing performing arts, you're doing shows, you're going out with your friends like you normally would, and then all of a sudden, like, you've been told that you could potentially have a heart attack at 16 years old. That's unheard of.
Yeah, fuck.
You know what I mean? And we're so naive and so, like, us against the world when we're 16-year-olds. So, yeah, so that was the initial kind of, I've got, like, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
When did they find out that you actually had, like, kidney failure?
So, obviously I went into hospital that night and I was in there for about a week. And the thing with kidney failure is sometimes it can be acute, which means something's just happened, your kidney's gone to sleep, like it's reacting to something, and in a week or so it'll start working again.
Yeah.
So they were hoping that was what the issue was with me, but they did a biopsy of my kidney, which is one of the worst experiences of my life.
Yeah, I've heard what biopsies are like, depending on what.
So I had to lay on my stomach, And the needle that they use is
Shut up.
about this long.
Bigger than your head, mate.
That's like a cesarean.
Yeah.
That's like a cesarean.
That is though, isn't it? That's what they use for a cesarean.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, an epidural.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to say cesarean.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, wrong.
And the needle has a tiny clipper, like on the end
Like
of
a
it.
crab.
Sort of, yeah. It's because it needs to grab a bit of your kidney.
Oh my
They
god.
fished out your
And when they do that, it goes.
Oh my god.
What, you felt?
Well, you felt it and heard it, like it's.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah.
And you were
No.
awake
It was-
when they did this.
Yeah, awake.
Oh,
it was
man.
horrific. And then you have to lay down. I had to lay down in that position for 6 hours after because it can cause bleeds otherwise. So I had to lay there for 6 hours.
Oh.
God.
Yeah.
So you did the thing, and I'm guessing that would tell you if you had.
But although we didn't find out for a couple of weeks because it takes a couple of weeks. So in the meantime, in hospital, they put me on dialysis.
Just in case.
Dialysis.
Yeah, explain.
Yeah,
What?
dialysis. Well, there's 2 types of dialysis. There's hemodialysis and peritoneal dialysis. Hemodialysis is you either well if you sorry.
What?
Sorry?
Don't stress. Sorry.
I was like, well invested.
Yeah, but
and you were
why
like,
say
sorry.
sorry?
And I was like, for what? Wait,
Mate,
did
do
I
you
miss
know how
something?
much we ramble on and
Yeah.
fucking stutter and all of
No,
that?
keep going.
It's the beauty of the podcast.
I love it.
If you I can't think of it. Give me 1 second.
That's right.
So you was talking about hemodialysis and what was the other one?
Peritoneal. But I was trying to say, if you what is the word I'm looking for? Crash is the word I'm looking for. That's very stupid,
Crash,
isn't it?
like car crash.
If you crash land onto dialysis, meaning they don't know beforehand that you're getting kidney disease, like and all of a sudden you, like me, you just end up on dialysis.
Mm-hmm.
They give you a neckline. So
Right.
it's a tube that goes down into your heart, and then it has two lines that come out. One of the lines goes into the hemodialysis machine, cleans your blood, and then it goes back in the other one.
Wow.
So yeah, hemodialysis is basically just
Wait, is that like inside, like all here, or is it?
yeah. So I
Fucking
have
hell.
one now, but because I'm on a longer span of dialysis, they don't like leaving these ones in too long. So I have a chest line now, which is the same sort of thing. It's more permanent. So I don't know if you can, but you see that there.
Oh yeah.
That's part of my tube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Do you ever like feel it? I know this is a silly question, but like, if you're ever like doing something, and like say like someone pushed you, if I laugh, I'm like, like, do you feel it if like someone, oof?
Is it always going to be there? Will they take that out
No,
eventually?
they'll take that out about like depending on how well the transplant goes, they'll take it out.
Is it there
like, a
just for
month
like
after.
precaution? So like.
No, this is what I do dialysis through.
Oh, that's still the same tube, right?
Wow.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
All right, I got it.
So how many times do you have to like get that? Like, so what is it, like a drainer? Like, does it drain anything? Am I talking?
Well,
Weird.
think of it as like 2 extra veins almost.
Got you.
So one brings the blood out.
Mm-hmm.
So let me digress a second. A dialysis machine, a hemodialysis machine, is basically a big machine that cleans your blood the way your kidneys would.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously my kidneys don't work, so the machine has to do that work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 times a week I go, 4 hours per session, take the blood out of my body. Yeah, take the blood out of my body.
Can I see it again? Sorry, I'm really curious as to. So every time you go to dialysis, how do they they find the tube? Is there like an injection that goes in?
I will show you.
That's
Yeah,
what I was after. If you're alright with that.
Yeah, as long as you're comfortable.
Try not to get my
Oh
big belly
yes,
in
okay,
it.
I do remember this. So the tube is actually physically out of your
Yeah,
body.
so
There we go.
so there's 2
Wow.
there. They cover it to just keep it safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's one there that will connect to the dialysis machine.
Yeah.
Clean my blood, and then it'll connect with that one, and then come back into my body once it's clean.
Wow.
Because I forgot that you had the one here, even though I've seen it many times. See, I was looking at that and I was like, how does that come out of your body? Like, your skin is healed. Like,
well, that's the thing. I've seen it before, but like only like the bandages up here. And in my head, I thought you had like, this could sound really bad, but like a hole, and then they just like put like a tube in the hole, like a puzzle.
They basically created a kidney for Emma. That's the way I'm seeing it. It's like the kid, as in that is your kidney.
Oh yeah.
And they've made a robotic kidney event. Yeah.
That's my connection to the big kidney. So going back to the story, I came out of hospital after a week, and then having to go and do dialysis every other day.
What was going through your mind at this point?
Well, I thought I was going to die, to be completely honest with you. I remember asking my consultant, am I going to die? I didn't know what...
You're so young as well.
16.
Yeah,
I didn't know what kidney disease was. I didn't know what
100%.
kidneys do. I didn't know anything. I was so naive to like how my body worked. Like, I mean, we all are.
And there's also like, you know, there's kidney foundations, like cancer. There's like, you know, and you sort of think, oh my God, like I'm one of them almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when there's a foundation made for these type of diseases, you know it's big, you know it's like a life-changing thing. That must have been, I mean, even now, do you know what I mean? It's still like, I know it's part of you now, like you've lived with it for 10 years and you know you've but even now, you know, it's your life now. Do you know what I mean? And it's that first initial getting how many years do you think it took for you to accept like this is kind of how it is at the moment?
Years. I don't think I
Do you feel
have even now.
Yeah. I can imagine.
I mean, the first year was particularly hard.
Of course.
Mainly because of where I wasn't that good in school. I wasn't a good student in school. But performing arts was something I really wanted to do. And just as I got ill, I found out I got the highest grade in the class. I got Distinction Plus for the year, and I was Student of the Year. Yeah. And then it all got ripped away from me.
Oh God, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like, do you sit there as well? Because I'm just thinking, like, if I was ever in that position, you start to think like you've taken like your life for granted. Like, I wouldn't have sat there and ever thought of like my kidneys the way I do. But obviously, when I met you and I heard about your story, I started to sit there and go, wow, like, you go to dialysis.
And when I introduce Emma to like my circle of friends and stuff, and obviously they're now your circle of friends, but you know, it's always that kind of it's that subject where it's like, this is Emma, you know, meet Emma, and then people might ask why you're tired, why you can't come to dialysis, why, you know, and trying to explain that, like you say, you didn't know this didn't start until 10 years ago. You thought it was like something that you were born with. Do you know what I mean? And actually, literally, it's not that. It's so big and relevant because, you know, for half of Emma's life, you know, you've been able to function like a normal person. And it's what is 10 years? I still remember being 16 myself and being like, I'm the you know, Billie Big Bollocks. But like, actually, when that gets ripped away from you, it's something completely different. Like, and it's hard. You know, it's so fucking difficult.
I feel like I missed out on a pivotal part of my life.
Yes,
because from the time, so 16, when I got ill, I didn't get a transplant that worked until I was 20, 19 maybe. Those are pretty important years.
Yeah.
When you're just going into adulthood.
Yeah.
So I never got to do all the things that most people get to do in those years. I feel like I missed out on a lot.
Yeah. I think the thing is, like, but yeah, definitely between like 18 and 21. Like, I remember those being the years that, you know, I went out drinking, I went clubbing, and I was able to like it was like adulthood, but you weren't an adult.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've had to kind of miss those out. You've then had your operation, and let's go into it. Let's go into the operation. So you found out you had kidney failure. So you were on the other dialysis at this point. Is that right?
Yeah. So after about 6-7 weeks of hemodialysis, I was asked if I wanted to do peritoneal dialysis because it means you don't have to go to the hospital, like you can do it from home. So what peritoneal dialysis is basically, so you have a tube in it's all tubes. Basically, you have a tube inserted into your peritoneum, which is a part of you know, inside your belly, and you put like 2 or 3 liters worth of fluid into your stomach.
Wow.
And then with the hopes that because of the type of solution it is, it pulls more fluid out with it.
Okay.
Right.
So that's how it gets. Because obviously I don't urinate at this point. I don't have a wee. I don't wee.
Yeah. That's always the one thing, by the way, that I always say to Emma that I'm envy of, because especially in lockdown,
Not needing to burst
in
for a
lockdown
wee,
when there was all the toilets were shut, I was like, we went up to London and I was desperate for a wee, and I was like, I just want your wee thing. Like, obviously I would never wish what Emma has on anyone, but that one thing there, you're gonna hate weeing again.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I do, but
I know
it's also a sign that I'm normal.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't.
100%.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't ever get like that feeling of needing a wee or anything.
Yes.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Well, there's still the thing is, even though it's still functioning because of the dialysis, it's still working.
So what happens when you feel like
She still
that?
gets fluid in her kidneys, doesn't she? There's just nothing.
It's like the tiniest, teeny tiny drop.
Yeah.
It's like when you got cystitis. That's how I imagine.
Yeah, so it's literally
no
like the
way.
teeniest bit. So it can feel like you really need a pee.
Yeah.
And it'll be.
Yeah,
no way.
Like, honestly, if you
I hated
have
that.
you had cystitis before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that you're going. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I was so ill for years as well. I didn't have my period. For years, I didn't have my period.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
So yeah, peritoneal dialysis. It takes more fluid back out with it. So when you empty, because you do it 4 times a day, you put your fluid in, leave it for 4 hours, then empty it, and then do it again and again, with the hopes that each time you're emptying, more fluid is coming out with it. Ups and downs to that kind of dialysis. I mean, I looked pregnant all of the time. Also, it's really, really painful having a tube that goes into your stomach.
Yeah.
Because when you don't have any fluid in your belly, it sits on your bowels and stuff, and it really hurts.
Yeah, I can
like
imagine.
it was really, really, really painful.
Yeah.
But it kept me out of the hospital. So I did that until I got my call for my first transplant.
Which?
But both of us just went.
Well, do you know about the first transplant?
I kind of, but go. Yeah, just hit me. Go with the
Yeah,
very
let's do
beginning.
it,
Yeah,
'cause
let's just go do it.
Buckle up, because
Yeah.
as we go through this journey, like, you know, we've Emma's just found out she's got kidney failure. She's had 4 years of living with this at the moment.
No, this is about 2 years.
2 years.
2 years
Oh yeah,
in.
so you were priority at the point because of your age, and the rest of the story is wild. So just I mean, yeah. So okay, first transplant. You get that magical call.
Yep.
You must be buzzing, super happy.
Yeah, really, really happy. So me and my mum obviously we go up to the hospital. Everything's fine. Like, you have to sign your forms and stuff, and the surgeon comes to talk about the risks and stuff, obviously, as they do with every operation.
So you get a call.
Yep.
And it is you're happy, you're excited.
Yep, so we make our way to the hospital. We get there, it's like evening, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. So we get there, I'm put into a robe. We were sitting around for a couple of hours. Surgeon came round and they talked about, all the pros and cons, as they do with every operation. And then you have to basically sign your life away.
The waiver comes out.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then it's all a bit of a blur. This whole hospital trip is a bit of a blur. So whatever time, I get rolled down to theatre, everything's fine, it's all good. Wake up.
Can you, sorry, just before we go into what happened,
Mm-hmm.
what happens? So how do you get a kidney? How do you get a transplant? What happens?
So there's 3 ways you can get a kidney transplant. So number 1 is the donor list. So when someone sadly dies and they're on the list, there's a couple of factors, like including your blood type and all of this, and
Get on the donor list, by the way.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, it's free. Like most shopping people, sorry to interrupt, but I think it's really important because I'll forget otherwise. If you die and you are healthy, your organs can go to someone like my cousin, like other people that are going
Facts.
through kidney, liver, whatever it is, they can get transplants, heart transplants. Your body is valuable. When you're dead, it's not. But it might be really valuable to someone else.
It might be
Please get
valuable
on the
to
donor
me.
list. Exactly, that's the thing. And if you die before Emma gets her operation, I'm joking. But yeah, just do it. Anyway, sorry. So yeah,
So the
depends
list,
on blood type.
Yeah, so it depends on blood type. How far up you are on the list. If you're under 18, you're generally higher up on the list because they obviously want you to go and live your life. The second way is you can have a live donor, so someone in your family, or it doesn't even have to be family, just someone you know and you happen to be the same blood type and it happens to be a match. And then there's also the paired scheme. So if say you were going to be my donor, but it turned out that you weren't my blood type and couldn't donate to me, there's a pool. So someone else who was going to donate to their daughter, say it wasn't a match, you can donate so you can donate to them and they can donate to you.
That is amazing. I didn't know you could do that. I bet that's quite rare though, isn't it?
Yeah. They only do it a couple of times a year.
Yeah. It must be quite hard to find those
I
matches.
didn't know that existed. That's so nice.
Yeah, really cool. So it's an option if you know the person that you know has come forward for you isn't a match. That doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to get a kidney.
That is really good. I didn't know that was a thing actually.
Yeah.
So I learned something new today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so back to the hospital.
Yeah, let's do it.
So wake up from surgery. Obviously, I'm out of it. In pain, but I was alright.
Can I just ask, how long is like the surgery? Like, how would you?
It can take a while. I mean, 4 hours, maybe more.
It's a big operation.
Depending on how it goes, how easy it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Was this your first ever operation?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big operation for your first one.
Yeah. So once I'd finished in recovery, went back up to my room. Obviously, my mother was there. And we were told that the kidney hadn't woken up yet. So that means that, it doesn't mean it's not going to wake up. It just hasn't done it yet. And so in the meantime, you go back on dialysis and just wait for it to kickstart, basically. But then, 20 hours later or something, I am suddenly in the worst pain I have ever felt in my entire life. Basically, the first operation was in this side, and so I was in the bed, and then all of a sudden I felt something pop.
Shut up now. You would panic. Oh my God.
I was in agony.
Oh, babe.
Absolute agony. I was screaming, crying. I couldn't move. I was hunched over, but I didn't get the pain of the operation that wasn't no, this overtook that.
No, that's
pain.
what I mean.
Yeah.
But it was just all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, I screaming, crying in pain. Afterwards, my mum told me my lips had gone blue. I was
fucking
hell. So they rushed me back down to surgery. Usually, when you have an operation, you go into the anaesthetist's room first, where they put you down.
Put you down for a few hours.
Yeah.
Making that right. Just for a few hours.
But because it was so serious, they didn't do that with me. So I went straight onto the metal table while I was still awake, screaming, crying.
How traumatizing is that?
Yeah,
Still to this day, it gets to me.
Yeah, no, that's dreadful.
Didn't know what was going on, obviously. But yeah, then I went to sleep. Woke up again in recovery. No one would tell me what had happened. If I was have I lost a kidney? No one would tell me. My mum wasn't allowed in.
Wait, your mum wasn't allowed in or anything?
No one can go in to theatre, can they?
No.
Right. Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, well, this is
after
recovery.
Right, okay.
Recovery, no one's allowed in recovery with
Bloody
you.
hell,
It's just half an hour.
You're so young, you have no idea what's going on. You've just woken up from oh my. Oh God.
So I was in there for half an hour, crying, please tell me. No one would tell me. And then eventually I got wheeled back up to my room, and I was it's gone, isn't it? And my mum was like, yeah. And we just both cried and cried and cried.
How devastating, man.
It was horrific. Absolutely horrific. So, and I was very ill after that. Very, very, very ill for a very long time. I couldn't...
Was there any reason why it rejected? Like, did they say why?
It was a blood clot. Renal vein thrombosis, they call it. That pop I felt was the blood clot.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah.
And could that have been avoidable? Like, I'm not blaming the surgeon, but do you know what I mean? Like, how common is that? Like, what?
I'm not sure. I don't want to give out like facts when I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's obviously a risk factor. That was one of the things they warned me about.
Yeah. And the recovery process was just like how long
on
was
a
that?
different level.
Oh,
I've
wow.
never experienced anything
It's
like
something
it.
you always say that, like, you're always really panicked about, like, just that feeling, having that like excruciating pain again. And I don't blame you. Do you know what I mean? It's so traumatizing.
Yeah.
And to happen so suddenly as well. It's not like you had like aches and pains and then like it got worse and worse and worse.
It was instant. Like,
oh,
yeah.
So it's almost like, it sounds like, you know, when people explain appendicitis,
Yeah.
you know, that excruciating pain. I'm not
Yeah.
saying, I've never had it. I don't know if you have, but like, it's
It
that
just
like
comes
sudden.
out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
obviously this is just your kidney, which is fucking mad. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that one failed and you were in excruciating pain. You recovered
After a long time.
After a long time.
Yeah.
How long would you say?
I don't think I was about a year, I'd say, where
Wow.
actually, because but yeah, I was just so ill. Like I
Yeah.
vomited every day for God knows how long. Like I was just really, really,
that
really
honestly
ill.
sounds like my worst.
It's like
nightmare.
yeah.
it
that
was
sounds
like a
hell.
reaction to what had happened.
Yeah.
And so obviously for a while I didn't want to go back on the transplant list. I didn't want anything to do with it. I was like, I'm never doing that to myself again.
Yeah.
But they made me go and meet this. I'm really shy with people I don't know. But my consultant was like, please meet this girl, Jess. She's a couple of years older than you, but she's had a transplant. She's travelled. Like she's, you know.
I feel like you're trying to like make me jealous.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think Emma needed this.
Yeah,
No,
it
I
was
know.
for me to get the confidence
Yeah,
to actually
yeah,
do
yeah.
it again. And seeing her like actually really helped, and we still talk to this day. And she's actually just had a baby.
Oh, congratulations. Oh, you should
bless
send
her.
her this
That's actually
podcast.
amazing.
I will.
That's actually incredible.
Oh,
Like, to
I'm
go
glad.
through all of that and
Is
then
she transplant?
Yeah, she's still absolutely fine.
Oh,
Wow.
that's amazing.
She's travelled all over. Yeah, now she's got a baby.
Oh my
Oh, what
god! See, that's
inspiration.
crazy. That is
Yeah.
crazy. I really. Oh, if you get close to anything like that, I would just be so happy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Oh,
So she was.
what's her name?
Jess.
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 Big
Honestly,
shout out to
congratulations, man. Oh,
So yeah, and she was a push I needed to get back on the transplant list. In the meantime, I was on dialysis, like still peritoneal dialysis. I stayed on peritoneal dialysis even just after I'd had the operation. So that was like painful because obviously I just had this massive op and then I'm putting like 3 litres of fluid in my belly.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but I kept on doing that. I didn't want to go back on hemo. I was happy not going to the hospital all the time.
yeah. It's just quite soul destroying, isn't it?
Yeah. So that takes us to the year. What year was it?
Ibiza was 2019.
I think it was
So
15.
3 years before. Yeah. So
I think it was 15.
15 or 16. Would it? 15 rings a bell though.
Let me check. Sorry.
If you can't find it, don't worry too much.
It was 15.
15.
15.
So then on the 13th of March,
Eddie. Sorry.
do we need to take
No,
him for a
he's
walk?
all right. We're used to him. Oh, to be honest, it's the first time he's been featured in the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so 2015, you...
Yeah,
13th
I
of March.
I was down my friend Carly's house, as I did every day. Like I was just down there chilling. Got a phone call and they were like, "Hi, is this Emma Harrison?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "We've got a kidney for you."
No way.
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
That feeling, every time you say stuff like that, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what you would have felt like.
Yeah, so I'm really, really excited at this point. I was, do you know what?
Sorry. Just talk over him. He'll stop. Eddie, chill out. Keep going. I'm just going to sort the out.
Do you know what's crazy? A week before this phone call came, I said to myself, to the universe, to whoever, I'm ready now.
Oh, so you felt it.
I'm ready for this to happen.
Yeah. And considering like you met Jess, like everything just seems like fate is happening in the right time.
Yeah. And then the story gets wilder, by the way. But then, a week later, I got the call. So I phoned my mum saying, Mum, I just got the call. So, you know, we made our way to hospital. I remember I had chips before because I knew the transplant. They said don't eat. It was like 5 o'clock. They said don't eat past 6. So we stopped for a McDonald's on the way because I know you can't eat past a certain point.
How quick do you have to get to hospital?
Pretty quick.
Yeah. So like literally they give the call and you're off.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
You have a bit of time. So I had a shower and stuff. But yeah, pretty quickly they want you there. I didn't have to try. It was only to Cardiff, so it was on like 45-minute drive or something. Yeah. So it's not like I had to go, across country or anything. But yeah, and then got into hospital, same process again, talk to the surgeon, sign your life away and all of that.
You're
stuff.
like, yeah, done this, move on.
yeah. So, sign my life away again.
Yeah.
And then do the operation, wake up in recovery. All right, I don't like recovery because I just want to talk to whoever's there with me, and I can't, and I never have my glasses, and I can't see, and it's just.
Why don't you ever have your glasses?
Because you have to leave them in the room. So then, but then when I wake up
like that, I'm blind.
Yeah, I can't see anything. I don't know what's
so
going
annoying.
on. Yeah. So I wake up, go back to the room. Kidney started working straight away.
Straight away.
As soon as it was plugged in. That's the best way I can say
plugged
it, really.
in.
As soon as it was plugged in, started peeing straight away.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I was very moody when I was in hospital. I'm not a good patient. I am.
I remember the stories.
Yeah. So my
Sorry about that. Smoke.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's just the effect.
Yeah, just trying to get some like, ambiance going on. I'm not a very good patient.
Yeah. And so my family from London came down. My dad John, my stepmother Terry, and my auntie Leanne. They all came down. And I can't even remember. See, it's all such a blur when I'm in hospital because I'm like high on drugs and stuff. But I wasn't happy. I turned to one of them and I was like, "What are you doing here?"
Oh.
They just come all the way from London.
This is a conversation that always comes up at Christmas.
Yeah.
So at Christmas, it's always that one conversation where it's like, do you want us to come? Because last time you didn't seem that happy about it.
I want Subway. I want this. I want that.
Were you not happy that it was working?
Yeah, I was.
But you were
I
so
was just in
fucked
I was
up.
just in so much pain
Yeah,
as
I
well.
guess so.
It was really hard to see past that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back now, I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
Come
of
on,
course.
Emma.
Like, yeah.
But in that moment, yeah, it was hard, and I was a bitch.
That was so
Not a bitch. Little batch.
Little did I know. I don't know whether to tell this story, like this bit of the story or
If
not.
it's juicy, let's go.
Yeah, go.
Okay, well,
Oh, is it?
Well,
Is it about?
It goes well.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Honour it.
Okay,
Own it.
okay. Well, I'm not good to say any names.
No.
or anything.
But do you know what I mean? This is a story. This is you. Like,
Yeah. So while I was in hospital recovering, being a bitch to everybody, everyone else was getting angry at me, being like, "Why can't you appreciate this? Why can't you appreciate this? Why are you being like this?" And it wasn't because I wasn't appreciating it. I was just in so much pain.
Yeah,
and
have you just seen what
on
I've
the
gone through?
morphine,
Like,
yeah. But and I didn't know why everyone was getting so angry at me because I was like, well, I'm only recovering. I'll be all right in a couple of days. So Daddy and that went home. The day came when I was going home with my mum back. I'd been in hospital about a week, and my mum again. We were on the way. We were driving in the car on the way home, and she was like, "You really need to appreciate this, you know. Like you really like." This is a big thing. And I was like, what's something's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And my mum basically said, look, we all think we know who gave you the kidney.
wow.
Yeah. I'm not going to give his story of how he passed away because that's not my place.
Yeah.
But this I said he now, but he.
No, you've already said that's fine.
He passed away on the day I went into hospital. In Wales, not that far from where I live, we knew in hospital that the kidney didn't have to travel, which is one of the reasons I didn't have to rush, was because the kidney didn't have to.
It was being protected.
It was right there. And when I had the kidney, they said it was as good as much as if my twin had given it to me.
Wow.
It was like yeah. But anyway, so my mum told me, and everything just suddenly like fell into place. Like they were watching the news while I was still in hospital. Like they were watching the news on the telly in hospital with me, it clicked for all of them separately. It clicked for one of my mother's friends separately, who was at home.
So yeah, it was aired on.
Crazy.
So while she's going through this operation, this big incident had happened, and it's on the news, and yeah, so it's all just it's like shivery, like goosebump worthy, like it's mad.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I don't even know what to say to that. Like, that's mental.
The circumstances.
That your family were watching it on the news as well, and then like, to find out that that's like, wow.
The circumstances that he died, make this like, it made it a lot harder to take.
Mm-hmm.
He was. I don't even know if I should say it.
To be honest, I mean, look,
I think you're fine.
The family of this person, you know, it's unlikely they're going to watch this, but if they were to, I don't think you're going to be offending them in any way.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the story's incredible. Do you know what I mean? And like, as long as you're not going to slate it, are you?
No.
You're really thankful, and you know what I mean, you're being really honest about it as well. So it's up to you.
Okay, so he was murdered. In a mistaken identity, so he wasn't even the person that he was looking to murder.
Yeah.
It was completely random, and it was with me for a long time. How all those random events came to be, and how his kidney happened to be a match for mine, as if we were twins.
Yeah.
And I felt guilty for a lot. I still do. I
remember this,
I felt guilty for a long time, because it's like, well, why do I get this second chance? Why has he suffered? Why is it was a lot?
But I think there's I know, no, but it is. I can understand, because you're like, a life got taken. It's not like, I'm not saying it would make it better if, I don't know, he died in a car accident or anything like that. But you know, his life got taken away. But there's, you can see it in both ways. I mean, I see it as, but his life lived on. Do you know what I mean? It created a new life. You know, whatever religion you are, like, it's almost a part of reincarnation in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have a part of him inside you. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, I think it's a really beautiful story.
That's an incredible story.
Oh, it is.
And
it is.
Like, wow, that's absolutely amazing. So thank you for opening up to that, because that's a really crazy story. And to be honest, like you said, like, I think that's a really valid point, saying that, like, his life, you carried on, like, his legacy, if you know what I mean.
Because, and the thing is, like, depending on whoever if someone watches this where they have relevance, you've got two sides, you've got two things. You've got, this guy was unfortunately taken, his life is, you know, his life was taken, and that could have been the end of his story. But his story literally is being told even after his death. Do you know what I mean? Which is just bizarre. You know, it could either be, you know, he died and then you have the memories of him, but these memories are living on, man. You know what I mean? And it's just, I find that fascinating. I think
so. I carried that with me for a long time.
Yeah, of course.
The guilt, but also the pressure of wanting to just do everything, like, just, do you know what I mean? Like, live life to the fullest. But then also, I was so scared that something was going to go wrong at the same time. So I didn't do much. So so this kidney lasted for 5 years. It only failed.
5 years.
5 years. The only that it could have been going, it could have went on for not forever. They all have a lifespan. But the original disease that made my kidneys fail came back into that kidney, so that's what made it fail, which is really annoying. But I got 5 years out of it. I was in a relationship for most of that time.
Travelled a little bit.
But talking, I didn't do much.
Well, I was going to ask, like, how did you feel and cope when the second one failed, like, again?
So we knew it was coming for a while. So me and Billie went to Ibiza in June.
Oh yeah.
I was showing signs of things not quite working very well.
Was you worried because you were showing signs, but you were away at the same time?
Yeah, I wasn't really that bothered at this point. Because it was only very early signs, and I was like, well, maybe it could just be because I'm in the sun, because I was swelling more. I was getting tighter.
I remember at that point, that was the first time since you'd been like well again, where you said to me, this is going to fail. Like, my kidney's going to fail. And I didn't know that. I swear to God, I'm going to murder this dog. I'm actually going to murder him. Get away.
I keep forgetting about that I haven't got a voice. So I'm like...
I've given him a blanket. Sorry, my chair's started to squeak. I might stand because it's doing my head in.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks quite good actually.
I'm going to stand, guys, because this is hurting my life. Do you think I'm going to be all right in the shot? Yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, so as you were saying, that was the first time I'd mentioned to you, this isn't going to last.
Yeah, that was it. And I was really shocked because I think as well, because at the time I was like, I've always been quite a pusher for you. And I've always wanted you to live the best life ever. And it was the first time I kind of, obviously with the heat, you were swelling. I didn't know any of that about you. And I was going, come on, let's do some like adventure. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, there
Okay,
you go.
whoa.
My God.
So much going on.
I'm just going to stand. I'm just not going to touch anything. But yeah, so I think like in that time, I was very much like, well, she's well. Like, what can happen? Because you had been well. You travelled Italy, like, and then and then it started to. So that was what, July?
Yeah.
July, August time, and then when did it start to fail properly?
I went back to Ibiza with my mother in October, and by that point we'd spoken to the doctors, and it was like, yeah, this is failing. Not sure how much time we've got left. So I was like, just please let me go to Ibiza, and then we'll talk about it when I'm back. Then we got to Christmas. I was very ill that Christmas, very, very ill. Still not on dialysis yet, but I was slowly getting there, slowly feeling more ill, slowly swelling more. It was a long process to get like from June until then finally I was back on dialysis on my mother's birthday on the 16th of January 2020.
Wow.
Hello.
Oh, there you go. So I realised because we weren't talking.
It's all right. Holly will just be as loud as she can. That's fine. I've got housemates, and you've probably just seen her walk down the stairs right there. All right, just shh, Holly. Shh. Yeah. So. And this is why we'd never do the podcast around my house. Cool. So January the 16th.
Yep. Back on dialysis for the first time.
Yeah. Kidneys failed.
Yep. Gone. Bye.
Yeah.
Just gone. That was a lot to.
Don't worry, I've done that a few times.
That was it was a lot to process actually.
Can I say my thing? So at this point, me and Emma had reconnected quite a lot actually, because beforehand, and we'll go into it in a minute. Yeah. But beforehand, it took me a lot to understand what was going on. It took me some processing time. Yeah. I was scared of losing Emma. I thought she was going to die. We generally did. I didn't understand it enough. But at this point, we'd reconnected. We'd obviously been to Ibiza. You were thinking about moving to London. And we were just like really getting on at this point.
Yeah.
But I remember that January, we argued a lot because you were like very down, very, very upset. And I was like, Emma, like, da-da-da-da-da. It was just so bad. And I remember your frame of mind was like, I just want it all to end. I can't. And you didn't want a transplant. You didn't want to go through it anymore. This was it for Emma. Like it was bad. And like, that's coming from an outside from your head. Looking in to you, it was hard to watch. And I would get angry over it. You know, I don't understand what's going on, but I don't want to lose my cousin.
I mean, we've never been in your shoes, so we would never ever understand to the capacity of what you're going through. But I could kind of like, you're so strong, and it's understandable that you hit those points in the time of your life. Yeah. But the fact that you're still like pulling through, you're still going, okay, let's do this, let's keep going, and you still don't let it define you as a person, is such a massive deal. And it's so inspirational.
That's my biggest thing, is that this is something I have to live with for the rest of my life. There is no cure for kidney disease. A transplant is another type of treatment. Doesn't last forever. Sometimes you can have more problems with a transplant than you do when you're on dialysis. Like, this is me for the rest of my life, but I don't want it to define, like, it's not my be all and end all. Like, I'm a person underneath it, and it has held me back. Like, I'm 26 years old. I've never had a job.
Yeah.
I haven't finished my degree yet, all because of kidney disease.
Because your health, yeah. Health is so important, isn't it, to someone? And unless you go through something that actually puts impact on your life, you will never understand how important health is, and it's so important to look after it. Like, honestly, like now I see myself as like just always trying to be healthy as I can. Any signs, any sickness, whatever it is, just always eradicating anything, because you don't appreciate it until it's literally right in front of you. Do you know what I mean? But I don't want to go too much into the last few years at the moment, because I think generalizing it, what I do want to say is, outside looking in, it was horrific. It was horrific. That, I think, when that kidney failed, you had a taste of what life could be. You then went, fuck this, I want it to end, because I've now had a taste of what life is. And like you said at the beginning, that you didn't do necessarily what you wanted to do. And I think, I don't know, I might be putting words, please correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you thought that, well, what's the fucking point now? But I will say this, the last year, and I remember saying something to you. I said, there will be a time when you are ready, and all of a sudden life will just rekindle. It's always happened that way. Like, every time you've been like, right, I'm ready for this transplant, you get a transplant. It's just the way it goes, like with you. And I think in the last year, you went back on the transplant list, didn't you? So go into the last year. I think the last year is very significant, because you had a hell of a time. So 2020 happened, COVID, all of that shit.
I moved to London then in November 2020. 2020. Because I was just like, I was on the list in Wales, but I was just sick of where I was. I was like, look, if I'm gonna have to deal with this, I'm gonna deal with it somewhere good. I'm gonna deal with it somewhere where I can actually do things. And
there's literally nothing. Where Emma lives in Wales, she's like in the valleys, proper valleys.
I mean, I didn't move at the best time, because obviously it was lockdown. I was closer to my family. I was closer to you. I was closer to my dad. So moved to London, and then so I switched hospitals, all of that. And then I was like, my mum had wanted to donate her kidney to me for a long time, like since the beginning, basically. She'd been in the running before, but a kidney on the list had always come up first.
Gotcha.
This time around, I didn't go back on the list, because my mum was like, right, this is she's getting older. She's 57 now. This is like her last chance to do it. So he was like, no, I really want to do it this time. And I didn't want to at first. Like, no one wants to take a kidney from their mother.
Ask a question. If she then, because I don't know how it all works, so if she then gives you her, like, she donates you her kidney, does she then have to go through dialysis and stuff like that? No, because you can still work on one kidney.
You've got two kidneys,
but you don't actually need two kidneys.
That's why they do so much health checks and stuff, because to make sure that your functioning kidney is going to be the one that keeps you alive.
Some people can live perfectly with one kidney for the whole of their life. Because people are born with one kidney. But so she'll be fine. Touch wood, and everything goes well. Thank you. So moved up to London. We started the process of my mum giving me her kidney, which is a long process with a lot of tests. A lot. And we have COVID going on at the same time, so things are taking like double the time.
There's been, the first appointment was May, wasn't it?
So we finally get to the point where we're pretty much ready.
Oh damn, around your birthday.
Yeah, that was it.
Damn.
And I remember saying, I reckon you're going to get a date in May.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like lucky, but I felt lucky for Emma on my birthday.
Yeah.
And it
was one of the dates. So
wasn't it on the 11th?
I was
Yeah.
going to say, it was,
it was on my birthday,
Yeah. So we had 2 dates in May, depending on, they gave us 2 dates because, like, my mum still had to do one test. They were like, whatever comes through first. So we got to May. It didn't happen. Why didn't it happen in May?
The May one was because in April you had COVID.
Yes.
And they thought that you weren't
Was it
going to
that far
dialysis.
Wow.
No. So she had, was it April you had COVID, yeah?
I think it
Or
was even the
February.
month February.
Yeah.
February I had COVID, and you dialyse in a different place in the hospital when you have COVID. But when I was doing this, hospital transport weren't coming to pick me up. They weren't coming to pick me up, and I can't get an Uber there because I've got COVID. It has to be hospital transport.
Yeah.
So it was on down the records, like not showing up.
Oh,
Well,
so
the
they
thing
were
is,
like blaming you.
They were going on like she never showed up during the time she had COVID. Now, the fact that you are standing there in front of them saying that and you are alive meant you were going to dialysis. Gets me angry. I'm sorry. So it's communication.
None of my fault, but the surgeon saw that on my record and were like, no, she's not going to dialysis.
She's
Why
not
should
gonna
we give
look
her a
after
kidney?
it,
Yeah.
Yeah, because they thought she wouldn't look after the new kidney, basically.
Yeah, of course.
None of my fault, which was ridiculous. So then we had to wait again, and I had to have appointments with a doctor and with a psychiatrist. And I was like, guys, I didn't not come. They didn't come and pick me up. How else am I supposed to get there, sort of thing?
Yeah.
So that was all really annoying. And then we got a second date, which was
June, July. I think it was July.
end of June, beginning of July.
Yeah.
It's
I
around my
believe.
birthday.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But then we went to Harry Styles.
Oh, yes.
And I got COVID. So that's my fault. I got COVID. So it had to be pushed back again. Again, waiting for a new date. So this has been like a long time coming. Got a new date, which was for the 12th of August.
Which was 2 days after your birthday.
That's so weird. What the hell?
2 days after my birthday. Actually, we said earlier that this is the furthest we've come, closest to the op.
No, that one was 2 weeks.
No, it was a week. I found out week before. Yeah.
No
So
way.
yeah, we got so close. Like I had such a good week that week. It was my birthday. Then my mother's friend had her wedding, and I was a bridesmaid.
Yes, now I'm...
And then
I'm
I was
with
going to
you.
have the op. A week before, they phoned and were like, and said, "Oh, your white blood to my mother. Your white blood cells are too high to donate." A week before.
To say that now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This had not been
exactly.
brought up at all.
And
in
also,
that-
the whole time,
this
yeah.
wasn't in the last week that they knew this. They knew this for like a year before that. Her
and no
blood cells were high.
no one said anything. They got us to go a week before the op, and then decided to drop that. But they'd known that all along.
Yeah.
So why
that's
now?
annoying.
Why now have you brought this
that was
up?
a hard blow.
It was.
That was
It
a hard
was.
blow. So they are cancelled again.
Yeah.
And then.
And then,
Get goosebumps again. Come on.
in how many days?
Oh God, it's days away, bro.
Jesus.
I think 12 days.
12 days, but can I say this? Because I was invested at this point. This is it. I'm like, this is EastEnders. This is going crazy. So at this point, so we've just been told that Mum's white blood cells, so she had to go to an appointment to check that it was all okay. She ended up getting a phone call, and they said to her, "Oh yeah, no, it's normal. It's completely normal for you." And we were like, "Why couldn't they just do that at the time?" We were getting fucked off, to be honest. Anyway, then they said, so we went back to the surgeon. It's all good. Like, they said it's fine. No, we want you to physically see the doctor. So we went back to the doctor. She went to see the doctor. Then we were waiting. Oh, they gave you a date. They gave you a date, which is for the 2nd of November, which is the same date we've got going on now. It hasn't changed just yet. Hopefully it won't. Okay, we're all good. And I'm getting excited. And then Caroline's like, okay, I've gone to the thing. You need to write the letter. We've got the date for the operation. We're just waiting for that letter of confirmation to go to the surgeon.
We waited 4 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah. It was 6 weeks till the operation.
Yeah.
4 weeks they waited for the letter from the fucking nurse or doctor, whoever had to sign her, like, Caroline.
Literally
off,
a
the
tiny
mum.
little letter saying, "Yep, everything's fine." A month.
A
we
month,
waited.
a whole month. This is the thing. The communication is so bad.
It's
but
ridiculous.
Last week, the letter came through, and all we were waiting for was the surgeon to just say, "Yeah, okay, I'm cool to do the surgery." And he said, yes!
And now it's happening!
And you were here,
Oh
and you were
my
here, and we were
God.
buzzing, and now we're at current day, and we're all caught up to Emma's journey. And you know what? Like, that felt real that time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, when like Emma was here, because they called Emma's mum to say, like, yeah, it's going to go ahead on the 2nd of November. So, touching wood.
Yeah.
But
oh my
providing
God.
that there's surely nothing else that could possibly jeopardise
Oh, I
this
hope
operation.
Yeah,
You know what I
no
mean?
way.
And, you know, and if it does, screw the NHS. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. Screw them. Fuck them, because they're shit. They're being shit.
Damn.
If
I
anyone
know
wants to give
I
me
can't-
money to go private if this doesn't work.
But that's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know what? I'm like,
Any
I'm not
brand
even joking.
deals.
If this fails, we're going down that route. Emma hates it when I say it, but
Yeah.
we're fucking doing it. Like, so if you might see a donation
Funny.
loop if that is the case. But yeah, like honestly, what now? So let's say the operation goes really well. We're super buzzing now. This is the good. This is
I
the good
can't
bit.
believe it. I can't
Operation
believe
goes
how
well.
soon it is.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You've literally, what is it? It's the 21st of
Oh
October
my
today.
God.
So it's under 2 weeks.
Under 2 weeks, yeah.
Which is going to be amazing. And
It's a
so it all goes well.
life-changing experience.
You come out the operation, you're in a shit mood because you're in pain, but it takes, and you're telling everyone to fuck off.
Yeah,
Why are you
I
here,
do.
Billy? Get me a fucking vegan, say that to Harry, just stupid cunt. Oh, I just said the C word, and bleep that, for God's sake. But then what? You come out, what do you do? What's your first thing you're doing?
Recovering first.
Yeah.
But the main thing is travelling.
Yeah.
Travelling.
Hang on, before that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go simple.
No
I want to
way.
know what
What
your
are you gonna do?
first meal
Going to
is.
Norway!
No. Forget travelling. No. The first thing you're going to do... Drink!
Oh my
And look,
God.
she doesn't mean alcohol. She means water.
Water, just drinking.
We're not talking about Caribbean Pearl.
Because that's because I haven't explained this, because I don't pee.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to drink much fluid of anything, so that it's including gravies, like jelly, like anything.
Oh yeah.
Like
anything.
Soup,
Oh, yeah.
Anything.
But like gravy and stuff.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
Custard, like just anything
Oh,
that you can
gutted.
imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We're going to do a video where I'm going to get you all the drinks that you've missed out in the last 3
Yeah,
years.
let's
Yeah.
do that.
And we're just going to go wild. Because
Yeah.
it's like even things like iced lattes. Like
Yeah.
Emma hasn't experienced the full, the coffee experience. And you like coffee, don't
Yeah.
you? But even like slush puppies and things like that. Oh, it's just
bubble
so yummy.
teas.
Bubble
I've
tea,
never
yeah. In the last 3
tried.
years, a lot of things have come out, and we, all the different flavors of Coca-Cola and just little things that we appreciate. But Emma hasn't tried.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do that.
I'm
stuff
gonna
with you.
live off soup for like a year.
Yeah, and
just
pho
enjoy
and things
it.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be yummy.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be banging.
No, I'm super buzzing. So yeah, and then you said travel. Well, that's one of your biggest
Hell
things.
yes.
Isn't it?
Hell yes.
Yeah. Well, you can move with me in the Philippines when
That's
I open
the
my
plan.
bar. Yeah, 100%. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Well, before we sort of end, one question that I do want to dive into, because obviously we know your story and how you've kind of got to this point now.
Yeah.
We're literally days away from your operation, but bring it down again. What the whole of this? You've had a lot of friendships. You've had a lot of relationships. You've had family. How has everything, in hindsight, affected your relationships with people?
At the beginning, a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest.
Of course.
I didn't see any of my friends for like the first year and a half, maybe 2 years that I was ill. I mean, they came to see me right at the beginning when I just got out of hospital, and I didn't really speak or hear from them anytime again, including Billie. It just wasn't there. I mean, my friends, who are still my friends now, but I don't know. For me, I was gutted.
Yeah.
I was gutted. I was ill. I was alone. Like, the only person in the world I had was my mum. Like, me and my mum, like, I'll forever be grateful for her for how, But yeah, I didn't have any of my friends. I didn't talk to them. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't talk to Billie. And it felt like no one wanted to talk to me. I was missing out on everything. I didn't
Did you feel like you were a burden?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that.
That was never the case. I mean,
it was never the case.
I
but
can
you
only
would
speak.
still
I can only
feel
speak
like
for
that.
myself.
I understand.
But I think the reason why I bring it up is because I'm here, you're here, right? And I remember during that time, and we don't really speak about it now, but we've spoken about it in the past. And I think during that time for me, you lived in Wales, I lived in London, so it was always really hard. I think I did come and visit you when I was like young, like I think 17, 16, so it was when it first all kind of kicked off. I did come for a week, and that was when I first saw you quite bad, really ill. Like, you hadn't had a transplant, you were just, I think you were doing dialysis in the hospital at this point.
Yeah.
And, you know, but I think it was so, for me personally, I don't know about your friends, I can't speak for them, but for me personally, I couldn't see you like that. And I know that must have been so hard and very selfish of me. And it was. And, but, you know, I think I was so fearful of getting attached to you. And if something bad happened to you, I was already attached, but getting too attached.
Yeah.
And if something bad had happened to you, I don't think I'd be able to cope. You know what I mean?
That's so crazy.
Yeah. And
I think about it that way.
I've had loss. You know, we've all had loss in our lives. And I think seeing someone so, like, me and Emma grew up together. Like, even though she lived in Wales, I lived in London. I lived in Wales for a bit. Our mums were best friends.
Yeah.
And I think it was just it was so hard. Like,
Yeah.
But I remember, like, we argued because I asked you how you were once. This was after the transplant had failed. And, oh, no, was it after it failed? Or was it after it was failing? No, it was in January. It was when you had that second one fail.
Oh, okay.
And
Recent.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
The latest one. And I remember saying, like, how are you doing? And you just went, how the fuck do you think I'm doing? Like, and you went crazy. I was like, whoa. Like, I've only asked you, like you even gave a shit. And it really hit me. I was like, holy fuck, like, she's right. But at the same time, I was like, well, what I did was ask you how you were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was like, and I think now it's been so lovely that I have been able to open up. And do you know what I mean? And be there and be a part of your journey. It's been a lot. And I'm so thankful you've let me in. Do you know what I mean?
No, but I have to say, I couldn't have done this without you. You've been, especially since I've moved to London.
Thanks.
No, but it's true. But even
you,
I'm joking.
Charlie, yeah, I mean, I don't have any friends in London, so obviously Billy's friends and I'm my friends.
Duh, you're in the group.
Sharing is caring.
But yeah, particularly you, Billie. Yeah, you've been my rock.
It's been
my rock.
It's been
This is so cute.
No, but the thing is, I think it's more the thing of, like, it's not just being there for you. It's also distracting you from what, like, your identity. I probably felt like it was just the kidneys at one point. When you say you were so isolated and all you had was your mum, was it my fault? Do I feel like I'm a burden? Like what Terry said, all those things. Like, when you come to London, I've been able to give everything to you. Yeah, it's like, I don't want you to ever feel like you are just the kidney patient. Do you know what I mean? Like, you are in the friendship circle.
Can I just say, going from that, like, obviously I've only known you through Billie, but like when me and you became friends, I never saw that. Like, you're just one of the group, and sometimes I do forget that you've, like, got this condition because. It's so, like, you're so natural, you're so, like, well, I could say normal, but it's like there's no problem or anything. And then, like, when we would go out, I would go, oh shit, like when we went to Fort Park, certain people would just storm ahead and I'd be like, hang on a minute, wait, hello.
And that's the thing,
and then
I'm
I
so
sit there,
protective.
but the thing is, I sit there and I go, don't worry, I'm a slow coach, so I'll just walk with you, but everyone will blame me because I'm a slow
but
coach.
the thing is, it takes time for people to understand that. It does. And I think I'm so happy that, like, you're in my group of friends now and everyone knows you and everyone understands you, because I think at first it took a while to, like, people to understand that we do have to walk a bit slower, that we do have to take pit stops, that we do have to do, because it's unnormal for us, isn't it? Like, for people that are not going through this, like, transplant thing, it's just not in our thing to, you know, have to stop and slow down and just take time, like, you know, but it's been nice in a weird way to just be able to go for a walk and actually sit down on a bench and, like, appreciate what's around you. Like, I see it in a different way, but it's been a lot. It's been so good last year.
Me, I'm so unfit. I'm glad we're having to sit down. Sit down sounds like a great idea.
No, that's it. That's
why me and Emma always stick. Because I'm like, you're my excuse.
But it's so nice now. But it's so nice to have that, because I think before it was very much I was protecting Emma, whereas now I don't have to always be by Emma's side.
No way.
You can be there, Kaylee can be there. There's always someone that's going to be able to, like, you know, just be like, okay, Bill is having a great time. Like, if Emma's lagging around and she's chilling up with Bradley, like, at Fort Park or whatever.
Well, it was like...
Emma's not going to be... You're never going to be alone. Do you know what I mean?
I think this is
Touch
it.
wood.
Yeah.
Me too. And when we
Fingers
found out on the
crossed.
news, can I just say, this was a brilliant moment. So, like, we were sitting on the sofa and, like, we had a games night, didn't we? Because we were like, this could be it. This, like, we knew that the surgeon was going to have the meeting to make sure. So we had people over for a games night. And we thought, normally it's like 8 o'clock at night you find out anything. But 5 o'clock... Caroline FaceTimes, and I could just see her eyes crying. I thought, oh God, I hope it's not cancelled. She was like, it's happening.
We were like,
and I've never shook so hard. I was like, yeah!
I just get goosebumps.
Like literally,
Like,
it was like England had scored for the World
Yeah.
Cup. You know what I mean?
You guys messaged me or something. Like, I think we must have been in conversation, and then in the middle of the conversation, you're like, "It's happening!" And I was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I can't breathe!"
Honestly, it was the best, and it felt so real. It felt so more like, I mean, the other ones is, but okay, we'll see. Even the first time we found out about this date, we were like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for some reason, this just felt like the surgeon had confirmed it.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a date. It was like, you're having the operation. Like, so,
Jesus.
fucking hell, let's fucking
And
pray.
it's literally, what, a couple of weeks?
how long did we say? 12 days, I think.
12 days
12
of Christmas.
days.
Yeah.
If you want to get me a gift each day before.
Yeah. I've got like pretty much unemployed, so just waiting for my references to go through Terry Ann Carter. But yeah, no, I'm super stoked. I think we should end this podcast on something really lovely.
Yeah.
A drinking game! Woo! Obviously, you don't have to drink. I know you're pre-op, so don't worry if you don't want to drink. Right, you've got a drinking game. We have to end it like it's been a really heavy podcast. We really hope you've enjoyed Emma's story.
Yeah.
And obviously, check Emma out. What's your Instagram?
At M. Louise Harrison.
M. Louise Harrison.
Nice.
So
We'll put it
Emma
down.
also posts a lot of stories based on her kidney transplant and the updates and things like that. So if you do want to follow the story.
I have a highlight.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, I have a highlight with basically my journey from finding out that my mum is going to donate. I'll have a go.
Really? No.
Okay.
No. I haven't even had breakfast yet.
Right.
But yeah, literally, like, if you want to check in on the 2nd of November, like, all of us will probably have updates and, you know, be there. So we want to make sure.
You two will update in the podcast.
100%. Oh my God. Yeah. So it'll be
In
like.
fact, we could always put down in the comments if you think this is a good idea. But once you've had your op, we can.
And it all
always
goes smashingly well.
Absolutely. We could always do like a part 2 with you.
I'd love
and then
that.
you could let us know like what
Yeah,
happened
definitely.
and your progress.
Yeah.
But I mean, literally, by the time, so this will come out Monday. We've got a Halloween coming out on the 31st. And then the next one, you would have had your operation.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's literally this one, which is now, next week. And then the week after that, the one we record will be the update. So not long, guys, to find out what is going. So it's been a great podcast, to be honest.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed it. Well, thank you guys.
No, you're very welcome.
It's
honestly.
been lovely having you. And to be
has.
honest, I feel so honoured that like you get to say your story on our
I know,
podcast.
and it's a bit different, but I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but I've never done anything like this, and it's been a while since I've said my story, and I find it's good therapy to look back on how far I've come.
It's going to be like a journal for you, this, you know,
Yeah.
just knowing, if you ever forget because you're living the best life of where it's all started, just watch our podcast. Give us an extra view.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this drinking
Okay,
game.
so it's more of like a challenge.
Okay.
If you don't do it, you have to take a shot. If you do it, then I have to take a shot.
Right.
And this goes for both of you, okay? So you have
don't like
3
this shit.
cups, you have 3 glasses.
Yeah.
And basically, I don't know if you can hear me, but basically...
I think you should use the microphone because that's what how podcasts
Yeah,
work.
I'm trying to.
You're
but
currently
then-
shouting.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have 3 glasses. Now you have 3 moves, and your end goal is to have them all facing upwards. However, there's a twist.
Mm.
You can only move 2 glasses at the same time. So I'll show you, for example.
Oh,
right?
I think I've seen
So
this,
you
but
go
I don't
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay. So Emma, do you want to give it a go?
Okay.
You have 3 goes, and they all have to be facing up. If you don't do it, you have to take a shot.
I should have remembered what.
I know.
Are we taking this on the thing? Yeah, I think we are.
Yeah,
Right,
I think it's there.
fine.
Let me
Okay,
check.
so you have three goes.
I won't look at Emma while she's doing it. I'll be behind the camera.
1.
Yeah. Second go.
2.
Right.
What are you doing? You're doing some twisty thing.
Do you have to move 2 cups at the same time?
Yes.
Oh,
You fucked it already.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
My turn.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll have a shot of water.
Right,
Right,
go
I
on.
think you went something like this.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah. Go on, off you go. Second one.
Come on.
2.
Right.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. 3. Wait, I want to try it. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, you don't get 2 goals.
We
Yeah.
need to figure it out. We need to figure this out. 1.
I just thought of a way to make it easier.
2. Fucking hell, how did you do that? How did it start? Like this? Or like this? Does it really
Like
matter?
that.
Did it start like that? Oh, I started
Huh?
wrong then. Right, hang on. 1. 2. Oh, fuck. Alright, go on and show us.
Okay. First of all.
I saw this on TikTok. I'm so angry.
1, 2,
I did that.
3. Oh wait.
Shall we all take a shot?
Let's all take a shot. Basically, there's actually a complete twist and you can't do it. So it first off starts with, I think it starts off with this way. Yeah, that way. So because this one's upside down, you basically go 1, 2. No, wrong way. Anyway, basically, when you do it, it's always the person who starts first. And then when it ends up, so say like I've ended up like this, I then go, okay, and I twist that one and down. You possibly can't do it. Like it's impossible for you to do it that way. So when you went, does it start like this? I was like, yeah. But it doesn't. It actually starts like that. Because then you could do the same move. There we go. But if you do the same move where it's like that, it's impossible. You won't do it.
Right, okay. I hear you.
Anyway.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms up. Off you go.
I haven't had breakfast.
Ooh.
No, neither have I. This is the first thing in the morning. But we're going out tonight and we're going pumpkin picking.
Yay!
Oh,
That's one. Oh, I bet that's horrible. What is it? Spiced rum or something? Whoa.
Fucking spiced
steady on. Right, for you, Em.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Oh, right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Right. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Emma, for coming onto the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone, we hope you have a fabulous week. And next week we will definitely be doing our Halloween podcast, which is what these are for, baby. We'll have pumpkins as well, right?
We'll have pumpkins. It's a whole Halloween one. So we're gonna dress up. I know that's how I'm feeling. We're gonna dress up. We're gonna have everything themed Halloween, and we might have some ghost stories that we might mention. So if you've got any ghost stories, please send it to either me or Billie, and they may be shouted out. So yeah.
Right.
Peace out.
Peace out, everybody.